What's going on there, YouTube? Today we're going to change out this key switch on this Dusky 85 Dusky with the Honda 225 on the back. And I ordered this switch. It took about 2 weeks to get here. It came from overseas. But we're going to change out that switch because whenever you go to crank it, when you hold it over cranking, it would take a long time to crank. And I thought it had something to do with the oil pressure, because it would beep and then it would crank up. But what it was the key switch. You could actually turn the key all the way and crank it, and if you let off of it just a little bit, it would fire right up. So I figured that's the key switches might be not connecting good on the inside of it or whatever, so I ordered a new one, and we're going to install it. It should be fairly easy. You know, the wires are color coded, and then I think these wires that come off right here, there's one right here, and there's one right here. I think that goes to the kill switch, these two wires. So we're going to I'm going to take this nut off right here, and then we'll get in there in the back and see if we can connect these wires together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this nut off first and pull that key switch out the back. That way I can see the wires better. Okay folks, what I did is I took one wire loose at a time. They were color coded, so it was pretty easy. You had the black and red right here hooked to a black and red. You had the black and white that hooked to the black and white. Then you had this white with the black stripe that hooked to the white with a black stripe. So I just unhooked one at a time and hooked it up, and it seemed like it was fairly easy. These two wires coming off, these just go to the kill switch. So I actually, this boat, when I got it, it was actually unhooked. I mean, I can hook it back up, but let's see if this thing's going to fire up now. I'm going to go ahead and put the key switch back in and see what it does. Okay, that seemed like it fixed the problem. I'm going to shut it off and try it one more time. Oh yeah. Alright, well that's the key switch. So if anybody has trouble with it starting, that's what I figured out was wrong with mine. It's like if you held the key switch all the way, it would just crank, 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 and then all of a sudden it would beep and crank up, probably after about 20 seconds. And I thought it had something to do with the oil pressure. It maybe had to gain oil pressure before it would crank up. But when I first got this boat, it would fire off just like it does now. And the way that I figured it out is I kept cranking it, and it said the Honda manual says if it don't crank within 5 or 10 seconds, I believe, I can't remember, to let off of the key and wait a certain amount of time and then try to crank it again. But that wasn't doing any good. But I noticed when I let off the key, it would beep like it was about to crank, and then I let off of it, and that's kind of how I figured out that it was the key switch. So if anybody else has that problem, you know, maybe you could check the key switch if it's not cranking good. But this is on a Honda 225.